ValveTime.net.
Hi, and welcome to episode 4 of ValveTime Top 5. While we were deciding what topic to talk about for this episode, our interest was piqued regarding Team Fortress 2 shorts, which made us decide to take a look back at Valve's massively popular and extremely successful Meet the Team series of promotional shorts. This isn't to say we aren't going to be taking a look at Valve's other trailers in a future episode, we just feel the Meet the Team series deserves an entire episode all to itself so we can properly analyze and discuss Valve's most popular series of videos. The series debuted with Meet the Heavy on May 14, 2007, and lasted over 5 years before it was concluded with Meet the Pyro on June 27, 2012 during the Pyromania update. At the time of writing, all 10 shorts, including the shorter spin-off Meet the Sandwich, have amassed well over 65 million individual views on the company's YouTube channels alone, not to mention the uncounted views from Steam, Valve's retired media player, and third-party YouTube channels. But which are the best videos in the series? Only 5 of the 10 total shorts can make it onto our list, so let's get to it and not waste any more time. These are our top 5 choices for what we feel are the best Meet the Team shorts. Number 5. For our number 5 slot, we have picked both the shortest and the least conventional video of the bunch. If that hasn't already given it away, you probably haven't watched the series enough, so we highly recommend going back to replay the entire lot again and again and again. After you finish watching this video, of course. In at number 5 is Meet the Sandwich. The short spin-off released on August 19th, 2008 is a means of highlighting the new Sandwich edible device, set to be introduced with a heavy update. While many still refuse to accept Meet the Sandwich as an official member of the Meet the Team series, we at ValveTime loved equally as much, if not more, than a number of the other shorts. While it definitely isn't a groundbreaking or innovative piece of cinema, the short manages to highlight the game's sense of humor extremely well while just being plain fun to watch. Which, at the end of the day, are 2 of the main reasons the series was designed in the first place. The reveal of Meet the Sandwich was a pleasant surprise on the final day of A Heavy Update back in 2008, as fans expected no more than a weapon reveal not too dissimilar from those which came before it. Instead, fans were treated to an excellent minute-long short starring the Sandwich as the leading man alongside his less than important co-stars, the Heavy, Soldier, and Scout. As the shortest of the pack, Meet the Sandwich is more snappy and simplistic than the others, but remains extremely effective. While the entire video is presented from a singular static viewpoint from within the Red Team's fridge, the animators at Valve managed to use clever lighting and audio techniques to tell an interesting and humorous story which somehow manages to stand toe-to-toe with the other videos in the series. Think of it as being a little like David and Goliath, only David is a tasty and nutritious sandwich containing lettuce, tomato, cheese, and meat, which can heal the Heavy at a moment's notice. Everything we just mentioned is all fine and well, but it is also extremely unnecessary, especially when you consider that the Sandwich deserves the number 5 spot on our list purely because it remains the one and only way to make the soldier scream like a little girl. And for that, we thank him.
You call that breaking my spine? You Red Team ladies wouldn't know how to break a spine of my spine!
In at number 4 is Meet the Soldier. The 1-minute 27-second ode to John Doe originally released on August the 22nd, 2007, making it the second oldest video of the entire series. Not that you'd know it if you were to look back. While all the Meet the Team videos undeniably feature an impressive level of animation, quality, and visual polish, we feel Meet the Soldier somehow continues to stand head and shoulders above the rest of the older 2007 videos, which includes Meet the Heavy, Meet the Demo Man, and Meet the Engineer. All of the above somehow feel relatively safe or reserved in comparison to the soldier's personal outing. While general presentation is all well and good, we feel the written dialogue, pacing, and outlying storyline of each video is just as important, and we're sure few can deny that Meet the Soldier is definitely one of the funniest entries in the series. From the soldier misquoting Sun Tzu to the ensuing battle sequence and the final climactic twist, Meet the Soldier is every bit as hilarious as it is memorable. While these criteria would already make it a strong contender for our list, Meet the Soldier also established a particular structure for pretty much all future episodes of the series to follow. Specifically, the first use of the now famous introduction title cards and the back and forth jumping between narrative interviews and action sequences, both of which were sadly not included in the previous installment of Meet the Heavy. We also feel the writing and pacing in this Meet the Team short helped display the title character's sporadic personality and unhinged mentality in a superior manner to most of the other videos in the series. Even after so many years, we're still confident in saying Meet the Soldier feels like the series' first major outing. An outing which continues to shine so positively, we thought the list wouldn't quite be complete without including it in here somewhere, bringing it all the way up to number 4.
Sun Tzu said that, and I'd say he knows a little more about fighting than you do, pal, because he invented it.
Number 3. For our number 3 slot, we decided to move a little further ahead in time to take a look at Meet the Sniper, the 6th short which was released on June 7th, 2008, ahead of the Pyro update. At 1 minute 40 seconds in length, Meet the Sniper isn't the shortest of the series, nor is it the longest, but it is definitely one of the most insightful and one of the most focused. Later shorts, such as Meet the Medic, Meet the Spy, and Meet the Sandwich, all focused on developing multiple characters at the same time through dialogue, while Meet the Sniper remains primarily focused on the title class alone, allowing for arguably the most singular character development out of all 10 videos. In a very short space of time, the sniper manages to introduce the audience to his career, his motivations, his parents, his humanitarian viewpoints, his standards, his lifestyle, and to top it all off, a pair of brand new weapons in the form of the flare gun and Girardi, neither of which were even revealed at the time of the video's original broadcast. Meet the Sniper definitely stands as one of the turning points for Team Fortress 2, as the development team clearly used the video to further to develop the game's lore and behind-the-scenes narrative, something which was done very little prior to the release of the short. The video is also packed with hidden references and clever nods to other content, including Casey Green's Custom Comics comic, Team Fortress Classic Civilian Player Class, a remix version of the theme song from Magnum Force, well-known genre phrases such as FOAD and Boom, Headshot, Thomas Rick's Fiasco novel, and even hints to classic British comedy series Only Fools and Horses. Cleverly placed cultural and community references such as these promote repeated viewing to find things you may have missed the first or second time around, which in turn allow you to continually appreciate just how much time and effort was put into crafting each of these amazingly entertaining videos. Take everything we just mentioned and add it all to another great vocal performance by the consistently brilliant John Patrick Lowry, and the result is a video which feels perfectly paced and absolutely complete, making it number 3 on our list.
Dad, put mum on a phone.
Number 2. Stepping it up a notch for numbers 2 and 1, we've chosen what we feel stand out as the big guns of the Meet the Team series.
Gentlemen.
In at number 2 is Meet the Spy, the extremely long 3-minute and 20-second video released during the Sniper vs. Spy update on May the 19th, 2009, though it was leaked on the 17th 2 days earlier than intended. Despite the video's early release coming as a complete surprise, its existence wasn't really what had amazed us at the time. At around double the length of most videos previously released in the series, Meet the Spy feels less like a short or a promotional trailer, and more like a Team Fortress 2 themed Saturday morning cartoon show we have all been hoping for since the original inception of Meet the Team back in early 2007. While we might have previously praised Meet the Sniper for remaining focused on developing a single character, Meet the Spy manages to juggle multiple characters so well that the video feels as if the interaction between the soldier, scout, heavy, and spy is the real focus of the video rather than just the spy himself. The video was the first time we had seen the multiple characters casually engaging in conversation with each other outside of the game world, and Valve somehow managed to pull it off brilliantly. Instead of the usual action-focused clip shows that comprise pretty much every previous promotional video, Meet the Spy is presented as an ongoing narrative which manages to tell an interesting and hilarious short story which feels appropriately connected to in-game events and locations. While all the Meet the Team shorts feel somewhat connected to the game's fictional universe, Meet the Spy does so much more to build upon the game world, including the first introduction of family members for the classes in the form of the scout's mother, the development of the spy's romantic relationship with said mother, and the origins of this scar, a visual trait which was added to the sniper's in-game model shortly after the video aired for the first time. In a manner similar to the weapon foreshadowing of Meet the Sniper, which previewed a pair of unreleased weapons. This short functioned as the first reveal of in-game hats, which were later released as a hidden bonus at the end of the Sniper vs. Spy update. A number of these yet-to-be-revealed hats and weapons can be seen carefully hidden throughout the video, including the Heavy's football helmet, the Sniper's trophy belt, Huntsman, Razorback, and Girardi. Meet the Spy is close to unbeatable when fine details such as these are accompanied by some of the best original music tracks from Team Fortress 2, extremely well-executed character interaction, and a number of the funniest and most memorable moments of the entire series. As the final Meet the Team short to be released before a 2-year hiatus, we are extremely glad Valve managed to go out with such a bang. The series would eventually return in 2011, and that brings us to our number 1 choice for the best Meet the Team short.
Any second now. See? Red! No, wait. That's blood.
Choosing between our first and second options for this video is definitely the most difficult decision we've had to make for the ValveTime Top 5 so far, but we're confident we made the right choice. In at number 1 is none other than Meet the Medic, the stupidly long 4-minute and 9-second short released at the end of the Uber update on June the 23rd, 2011. At almost a minute longer than the previous longest short, Meet the Spy, Meet the Medic manages to make the 2-year hiatus and months of Dove-focused ARG goodness worth the wait. While Meet the Spy proved how a significantly longer video allows for more breathing room in regards to establishing characters and developing scenarios, Meet the Medic definitely uses its extended length to greater effect. The short is unique in this regard, as we feel it manages to expertly combine the faster-paced action sequences from the older trailers, such as Meet the Demo Man and Meet the Soldier, but without losing the newly perfected slower and more narrative-focused dialogue segments featured for the first real time in Meet the Spy. Astonishingly, Meet the Medic continues to outdo the competition in a number of other regards. As while Meet the Spy introduced a pair of brilliant new musical tracks, Meet the Medic features 3. This trend of outnumbering and outperforming the rest of the series also extends to the development of the game's expanded universe we mentioned during our discussion of Meet the Spy and Meet the Sniper. Unlike every other video in the series, which can take place as random events at any point in the Team Fortress canon, Meet the Medic visits a particular series of events at one of the earliest points in the timeline. As established in the first few opening shots, the video takes place at a point in time prior to the Medic's development of the Medigun, which allowed Valve's team to spend 4.5 minutes covering some important, never-before-seen events. A few highlights of which include the Medic initially establishing his close friendship with the Heavy, the Medic's ironic affection for white doves, the development of the first Ubercharge, and the first initial field testing of the Quick Fix, which featured as the Medic's original Medigun and as an equipable weapon introduced into the game after the release of the video. All of these narrative moments allow regular players to become even more engaged as they gradually learn how a variety of the game's mechanics came to be. As the penultimate trailer in the series, Meet the Medic stands alongside its younger brother Meet the Pyro as the technical and visual culmination of the entire series, using everything the team had learned and developed over the past 6 years to highlight the power of the source filmmaker at its finest. When you take the funniest and most technically impressive video to date, combine it with the interesting action set pieces and even more interesting narrative moments, and add all of the above in both quantity and quality, the result is, well, Meet the Medic, our personal favorite Meet the Team short. And there you have it. Now you know our top 5 favorite Meet the Team shorts. Just remember that this is our own list, created entirely from our own opinions and impressions of the videos, their merits, and the overall impact of each individual short. If you have different opinions about any of the options on our list, great! We want to hear whether you agree or disagree with our choices, and what you thought of this episode as a whole. Why not leave suggestions for topics in the comments below, as your idea may influence a future episode. Remember to subscribe for more ValveTime videos, news, and reviews coming soon. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.